Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Concordia's co-founders, Nicholas Logothetis and Matthew Swift.
Morning, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining us at the 14th Annual Concordia Summit. As co-founder and chairman of the board, I can hopefully confirm that Concordia's impact over the past 14 years is a testament to the caliber and collective willpower of our network and participants like you. Whether this is your first time attending or you've been with us from the beginning. And I know there are some people out there who have been to every single Concordia. So thank you. Our approach, ensuring that all voices are at the table when addressing the world's most pressing challenges, has proven to be a success in the shared causes and missions collectively advanced over the years. I'm often asked why the name Concordia. It's derived from Latin. It translates to harmony and peace, which speaks to the core of our mission of creating cross-sector partnerships for social impact. Concordia has grown to become the most inclusive and wide-ranging convener for meaningful market-driven solutions, with the annual summit being the largest and most inclusive non-partisan gathering alongside the United Nations General Assembly, something that we're extremely proud of. Given the state of the world today, some turbulence you may have heard of, Concordia and our network are needed now more than ever. We welcome the opportunity to deepen our continued partnership and shared impact with you today at the annual summit and year-round as we ramp up next year for a special 15th anniversary. Stay tuned for that. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for being a part of this impressive mission-driven community. We're excited to share our programming with you, so get ready to hopefully learn from leading experts, make meaningful connections, and most importantly, enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the 14th Concordia Annual Summit. It is great to have you all here and grateful for your time. This is an interesting week for the world. It's a unique week for the world. The majority of the world's heads of government are all not only in the same city, they're within the same 30 blocks. The key is, what can you do with it? What can you do with their time and attention and the power that they hold all around the world? What can you do with all the businesses and companies and NGOs, the multilateral institutions that all descend upon the city, where most New Yorkers complain about the traffic? What we see is the incredible opportunity that exists from this all-important week. Think about that. It's the one time each year, no matter what, the majority of the world's heads of government are within about 30 blocks of one another. So as you look at this summit, and you look at this agenda, and you look at how we have designed this to talk about public-private partnerships, all the way back to our mission when we started the organization, wanting to further public and private sector cooperation. When you think about market-driven solutions to different issues and challenges, you are going to see continually examples of where these key elements can bring very meaningful solutions to these issues. Nick alluded to a pretty volatile world environment. There are 63 democratic elections taking place this year alone. 49% of the world's population is going to the polls in some capacity to pick their leadership. What does that mean, and where do we go from here? Well, I think after 14 years, dozens of summits, and working through this, I think our model is as important as ever before. I cannot think of too many issues where public-private partnerships are not the answer to those issues and challenges. A good friend of mine texted me this morning. He said, take a minute, look around the room and appreciate what's been built. And I look around this room, and what I am grateful for is the fact that you've taken the time. But I have a very important ask of all of you, which is that you approach every minute of your time at Concordia Summit as an opportunity. Introduce yourself to people. Don't be afraid. If you're at the coffee station, introduce yourself to the person next to you. That is why we're all here. Make this a very productive time. I get asked all the time, what comes from your convening? What's the output? Well, I can talk about the partnerships that have come from it. I can talk about the initiatives. I can even talk about the business deals that have been made out of this. But that's not Concordia's impact. Our impact is this. Our impact is designing and creating the facility and institution and community that can drive this. So my ask of all of you, help us achieve that impact by developing partnerships, by driving market-driven solutions, by thinking positively and optimistically about the future, because we certainly need it. I'm watching that clock, and I don't want to run over too long. My apologies. I've got a few housekeeping things. I just want to thank my team gave me the full list of all the institutions that have supported and resourced this summit. And we couldn't do it. We'd be here for 20 minutes. Because, in fact, our programming sponsorship and programming partnership, those institutions that resource all of this were up 63% from last year to this year. And so I didn't want to bore you with naming all of those institutions, so we broke it by day. So I'm just going to acknowledge those institutions that made day one of the 3-day Concordia Annual Summit possible. I want to thank Abbott, fantastic company. I also want to thank one of our principal programming sponsors. I also want to thank our principal programming partner today, the National Medal of Honor Museum Foundation. Definitely look at the work that they're doing in Dallas, Texas. I want to thank our lead programming sponsors, AstraZeneca. They're hosting a very important lunch today on health that I'm looking forward to. On Wednesday that I'm looking forward to. DP World. You'll hear from the executive chairman of DP World very shortly, and Uber, a company that's been with us for a long time, addressing issues of gig economy, migration, and other key issues. Our lead programming partners, the Doha Forum. Thank you again last night. We had a small reception thanks to the Doha Forum. Shatterproof. I am very excited about the Shatterproof engagement because we need to be talking more about mental health and addiction. You will also hear more about that in this opening session. The Singapore Economic Development Board, welcome. This is the first time. And Stop TB Partnership. I also want to thank our core programming sponsors, Coinbase, just joined us this year. We're honored to have you here today. Mars and True Earth. Our core programming partners, African Parks, CAF, the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean, E-Liability Institute, if you want to learn the future of carbon credits, Pan American Health Organization, particular honor to have them here today, and the Rockefeller Foundation, one of our first programming partners. I think this might be year 7 or 8 of collaborating with them. Very, very powerful organization. Our media partners, All Sides, Foreign Policy, NTN 24, all facilitating and tracking all of the things that we're doing today. A special thank you to our founding sponsor, Libra Group. We wouldn't be here if Libra Group didn't believe in what we do and serves as our founding sponsor. I want to thank all of our esteemed annual summit speakers, our Concordia membership network, the Concordia Board of Directors, Leadership Council. A number of Leadership Council members are here in the room. Your Highness, it's great to have you here. I also want to thank our advisory councils and other key stakeholders. We also have to take a moment to thank the entire staff of the Sheraton Times Square, but especially those that facilitate all of our working lunches, make sure we're caffeinated with coffee, and they do so with such kindness and generosity. And also to the DeFore Collaborative, which is our production partner. They make all this happen. I get to walk in and I get to see this. So thank you, DeFore, for all of your incredible work, and to the crew. We go from an organization of about 22 people to an organization of about 250 people for this event. Now, let's kick off on our first panel today, something particularly relevant for this week. It gives me great pleasure to welcome President Abinader of the Dominican Republic and Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, Group Chairman and CEO of DP World. The conversation is going to be moderated by Nicole Goodkind, CNN Business Senior Markets reporter, who told me backstage she used to cover this event as a reporter, and now this is her first time on stage at this event. And they are going to have a conversation on examining the key issues of global trade and resilience. Can't think of a better way to get things started. Thank you all so much, and enjoy the summit.